Hello everyone. At the time of this video being published, the form for voting on bans for 3-card blind is up on the website. I'd like to quickly review with you which cards are available for people to vote on for bans. Let's start by mentioning Black Lotus. Black Lotus will continue to be a card that I allow people to vote for bans so long as it remains as popular as it is. In August, Black Lotus sported a modest average score of 51%. The reason that Black Lotus is on this list is not necessarily because Black Lotus is dominating the format, but it is playing a huge role in shaping what sorts of decks are viable, more so than any other card. Folks who are veterans of 3-card blind will know that when Black Lotus exits the meta, it will introduce a plethora of very interesting decks that just wouldn't survive in the current state of the game. I will confess that the remaining cards on this list occupy an incredibly small meta share compared to cards that were discussed for bans in previous months. I think this is an indication that the format is relatively healthy where it is now, but there are a handful of cards that have overperformed and are potentially limiting how creative people can be in terms of how they build their decks. The first of these cards I'd like to mention is Blackmail. Blackmail had a 4.39% meta share and a whopping 72% win rate. Of note here, 3 out of 4 of the pods in August had Blackmail in a first place deck. There are not that many great ways to defend yourself against Blackmail, and it has no restrictions on what sorts of cards it can take from an opponent. I think it's fair to say that other cards can fill a similar niche as Blackmail, such as Thoughtseize, without being nearly as oppressive. Next on the list is Balance, which had a 2.22% meta share and has an average score of 69%. Balance's ability to force a player to discard their entire hand on the opening turn of the game makes it a very frustrating card to have in the meta. Unlike other cards that have similar effects, like Wheel of Fortune, Balance also performs quite well even when you don't take the first turn because of its ability to punish players for playing cards into an otherwise empty board. The next card I'd like to look at is Channel, which had a meta share of 3.23% and an average score of 66%. What makes Channel noteworthy compared to other ways that you can turbo out giant creatures like Show and Tell is that Channel is 2 mana. This means, unlike other cards that let you cheat out giant creatures, Channel is not as reliant on Black Lotus for how powerful it is. You can lean into a card like Hickory Woodlot. You won't be able to channel on turn 1, but you are still able to channel on turn 2. Seeing as Black Lotus is one of the cards that people will be voting on this month, it seems appropriate to put Channel on this list as well as sort of a safety precaution. Next up we have Dark Depths. Dark Depths had a 4.34% meta share and an average score of 68%. Dark Depths has performed consistently well, including during August. Given that Strip Mine and Wasteland are currently banned, I did want to give people the opportunity to vote on Dark Depths. I think there are still plenty of ways to interact with Dark Depths, such as Caracas, but if folks are sick of seeing Dark Depths, now would be the time to express that in the vote. The final card on this list is a little different, and it's Death's Shadow. Death's Shadow has a 3.28% meta share and a 67% win rate. And I will confess that the reason that Death's Shadow is on this list is more of an administrative reason than anything else. Compared to other cards, Death's Shadow creates a huge burden in terms of processing match outcomes. I would say during August, it's gotta be roughly 30% of the amount of time I spent processing match outcomes was specifically because Death's Shadow math is very annoying. That, combined with the fact that Death's Shadow is also a very strong card, has earned it a spot on this list. I fully appreciate that Death's Shadow's appearance on this list is a little unconventional, so I do want to mention here that if the card does not get banned, that would not shock me, but I will be relying very heavily on the community to assist me with Death's Shadow matches in the future, rather than trying to hash them out myself. You'll have until midnight EST on August the 25th to place your vote on these cards, and I will be sure to get you the results of that vote back as quickly as possible so that you can begin to think about what sort of brews you'd like to submit for September. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.